Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is Jean, and you are watching SketchaLona, my weekly vlog where I take you through the city of Barcelona, show you some of the sights, and draw to my heart's content. So let's check in with what's been happening this week. I never knew you could go inside, so I'm gonna have to come back here. It's about 20 euros for a guided tour, so we'll see. Good show. So there's some fun news to report on. One of the things that's been happening this week is that I totally jinxed myself with the by talking about work ethic the other week. And this week they've given me another training, more responsibilities, and it basically means that I'm not going to be able to draw as much as I wanted, as I've been enjoying at work, and it's a real shame, you know. It's quite nice, isn't it? So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. So I've kind of been. I think I've been subconsciously sabotaging my work. It's like, well, then I'm just not going to do anything. I've just done my regular job as I've been doing for the past couple of months, and I had to go with some of the new responsibilities, calling people up here and there, like just a handful of times. Talked it through with my other colleague who's also been saddled with all this stuff. But yeah, so I've just been bummed out about that, and then on top of that, I just haven't had the time to draw much outside of work because of meeting up with friends and cleaning the house and, like, you know, social obligations. So what I do have, I will put on display as I walk through the city. Ox was kind enough to point out that there's a workshop halfway across the country that I might want to check out, and I totally do want to check that out, because being a bit bummed out this week about not being able to get very much done, what better way to inspire besides the regular V100s by doing an art workshop. So yeah. But more about that later. So what you are looking at right now, drawing-wise, is an attempt to draw John Stamos, I think. I think he's one of the people from, one of the actors from Full House. I didn't intend to draw him. I actually wanted to draw the original Mystique, Rebecca Romain Stamos, for no apparent reason. So I started drawing her. There was a couple with her husband, so I started drawing him because he had this perfect square jaw that I really want for one of the characters in my comic book, Phosphor. If you're new to this series, I'm making a little comic book. It's called Phosphor. It's a sci-fi action adventure type story, very much modeled on movies like Alien and The Thing, in which people discover a dark secret lying about, a biomechanical monster of some kind that kills them off one by one. If only my cat would stop killing me. Okay, he's fine. That's kind of what it's about. Later on, you'll see me catching up on some rough pencils, thumbnailing. But in the meantime, this one right here. So I didn't quite get the smile right, and I really wanted to get the expression right. Not so much the likeness. I don't think I got the likeness once. Maybe if you blend 2 or 3 of the ones I made together, you'll get him. But so yeah, so I had to go really like studying his face and just kind of trying to see how the cheeks and the like just blend into one another like within the smile. If that, I don't even know if I'm making sense right now, but like, you know, like the cheekbones and the cheek on top, and like the wrinkles, the creases of the smile, and like, you know, it's also subtle. And then there's the whole like, how do you render this, and like, how am I gonna ink this? Well, that came a little later. I took one of the drawings through inking traditional, and then I think it was this one I took through inking digitally on my Cintiq. And I'm pleased to say that my Photoshop brushes that I've been working on are pretty much like, I feel I treat them the same. Like, I'm still trying to get into the whole workflow where I'm not tracing as much. That's something I've been complaining about in my last videos, where I just noticed that there's this different way of drawing, the way I approach digital, that just has me not picking up the pen off the screen as much as I would a pencil off on paper. So I'm kind of trying to get into that, but like the divide between digital and traditional, once again, it's shrinking with these new brushes. So I'm very happy about that. So yeah. So back to the workshop then, now that you're fully up to date on me drawing this portrait right here. Back on the workshop. So Jake Parker is doing his first ever workshop in Europe, and Ox just tweeted it at me, and I just had a look, and I guess he literally just announced it an hour earlier, because it took me a while to find some info on it. I found a gallery, found their Facebook page. There's a you know, they didn't really put up too much on the page itself, which I thought was a little odd, but you're supposed to email them. So I emailed them, you know, knocked out a letter in Spanish, which is always a bit scary because, you know, like there's formalities the way you write letters, and that's where my Spanish is not quite up to scratch. But I think I put together my letter. And it took like a day for them because of the Three Kings holiday here. So instead of Saint Nick, kids here get presents after Christmas when the Three Kings visit. And it's called Tres Reyes. And it's a really big thing, like it's a national holiday. And so that just happened to coincide with me inquiring about this workshop. So, you know, stop that. Oh God, stop playing around, kitty. So the workshop is going to be character design, and that's pretty much all I know. It did mention that there's going to be time to talk about comics. So I guess they're well aware that that's one of the main interests people will have going to this workshop. But as to how busy it's going to be, like anything like that, I've never done a workshop like this, so I don't know. I'm super excited. So now I'm looking at 6 weeks before I go. I've already looked at flights and hotels, and I might be able to get it down to about 200 euros for 3 days, but I was at 4 days I was looking at. I can't even remember, but I need to have a little holiday. So the workshop is going to be pretty full on, and I want to get an extra day in Sevilla while I'm there, because Sevilla is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been to. So I have to have a day by myself just to hang out, you know? So yes, I have 6 weeks, and in those 6 weeks, I can make a page a week. So I should have 6 pages done, which happens to be the amount of pages for the V100's anthology. I made a video for that today, which will probably be published after this one, if I can finish this one on time, because it's already 11. But So I'm working on 6 pages of comic book for the The100's comic book anthology, along with about 18 to 20 other fine artists, and we are going to put this book together and kickstart it, and it's all super exciting. So I've been thumbnailing away for that while coming up with some story ideas, but I've also been working on my own comic book. So I wanted to talk about that just a little bit right about. Good morning. So first things first, I gotta work on my pages. So this is still part of thumbnails round 2. I'm making a little mini comic book, and I've got about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Actually 3, but then because of the way I folded it, I end up with a page after page 1, like empty. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I could just fill it in. I can always take it out later and just digitally make it a new booklet if it doesn't work out. So I'm now on a page. So page 1, 2, 3 and 4, I swapped what they were doing. So it turned out that in on page 3, I showed them in my round 1. I showed them at work, whereas on page 4, I gave a big zoomed out like workspace shot, and now I'm doing it the other way around. So first I show the workspace, and then oh god no, going at it like walking into the workspace, and then the next shot is, so I'm basically making it a little bit more mundane. I'm like, I guess I'm just overthinking it a little bit, trying to do really interesting stuff, and then kind of coming to the conclusion like, let's just play it straight, like just chronologically happens this, you know, one of them gets up, is tasked with waking up all the kids. Find a cash point, get some money out, sit down, grab a coffee. Found one finally in the distance. I just love this building. Check it out. It's like an old marketplace, and I just love walking around here and like people watching, like all the little shops. This in general, this is really awesome about living in Barcelona, that it's still, you know, it's an old European city, so there's lots and lots of tiny streets to venture through. There's shops everywhere, but this used to be a town on its own. It's just kind of been absorbed into Barcelona, and so all the streets are a little smaller here. You know, everything is a bit tighter. It just makes for more fun getting lost. So clearly I've been fudging my perspective here just a little bit. Been sitting out here. Now that my butt is completely frozen, I think it's time to make a move. Got my money in my pocket. Still haven't found my coffee, so let's go. If that's a little too dark for you, let me just get a little bit of light. So it is Sunday morning. It is freezing cold in the house. Got myself covered up, and I was just having my my morning breakfast with this one right here, and you know, time to draw, that kind of thing. But I still had that I still had a TV show to finish. The Christmas special of Sherlock from last year. I never saw that one, and season 4 just started, so now I have 2, which is awesome because I love this show. It's really, really good. But I, like watching this particular episode. Could you move, please? Thank you. I just love like some of the scenes and just the lighting. If there's one thing that making comics and drawing in general, I suppose, but like making comics and looking for scenes really has me focused on lately, it's the use of lighting in scenes in films. Like it really, like I just keep staring at it and like looking at it, you know? Don't move, cat. Wait. And so I just had to draw this particular crypt scene. I didn't want to pause, and I'll continue watching in just a second. But I just thought like, oh, this is really, I really like where this is going. This looks nice with the pencil, so I thought I'd just show you guys. So just can't. So thanks for watching, you guys. I'm just gonna continue drawing right here. Finish watching my show. Oh my God. Hope you had a good time watching, and I'll see you next week.
I am your weakness! I kick you down! Every time you stumble, every time you fail, when you're weak, I am there! No, don't try to fight it. Lie back and lose! Shall we go over together? It has to be together, doesn't it? At the end, it's always just you and me!
Professor, if you wouldn't mind stepping away from my friend, I do believe he finds your attention a shade annoying.
That's not fair, there's 2 of you.
There's always 2 of us. Don't you read the Strand? On your knees, Professor. Hands behind your head.
Thank you, John.
Since when do you call me John?
You'd be surprised.
No, I wouldn't. Time you woke up, Sherlock. I'm a storyteller. I know when I'm in one.
Of course you do, John.
So what's he like? The other me in the other place.
Smarter than he looks.
Pretty damn smart then.
Pretty damn smart.
Well, why don't you 2 just elope, for God's sake?
Impertinent.
Offensive.
Actually, would you mind?
Not at all.
my turn.
Good, sir.
So how do you plan to wake up?
I should think like this.
Are you sure?
Between you and me, John, I always survive a fall.
But how?
Elementary, my dear Watson. Miss me?
Sherlock, you all right?
Yes, of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? I just went to the trouble of an overdose to prove it. Moriarty is dead. No question. More importantly, I know exactly what he's going to do next.
Flying machines, these telephone contraptions. What sort of lunatic fantasy is that?
It was simply my conjecture of what a future world might look like and how you and I might fit inside it. From a drop of water, a logician should be able to infer the possibility of an Atlantic or a Niagara.
Or a Reichenbach?
Have you written up your account of the case?
Yes.
Modified to put it down as one of my rare failures, of course.
Of course.
Adventure of the Invisible Army. The League of Furies. The Monstrous Regiment.
I rather thought The Abominable Bride.
Trifle lurid.
It'll sell. It's got proper murders in it, too.
You're the expert.
As for your own tale, are you sure it's still just a 7% solution that you take? I think you may have increased the dosage.
Perhaps I was being a little fanciful. But perhaps such things could come to pass. In any case, I know I would be very much at home in such a world.
I think I would be.
I beg to differ. But then I've always known I was a man out of his time.